بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وآله. This is a reading of the message of Sufyan Athawri to Abbad bin Abbad. Ibn Abi Hatim said in the book Al-Jarh wal-Ta'dil, Ismail ibn Israel al-Sallal informed us, Al-Firyabi informed us, he said, Sufyan ibn Saeed wrote to Abbad ibn Abbad saying, From Sufyan ibn Saeed to Abbad bin Abbad, peace be upon you, I praise Allah to you, the one whom there is no God except Him. Furthermore, I advise you to be fearful of Allah, for if you are fearful of Allah, He would suffice you from dependence on the people. However, if you were to be fearful of the people, they would not suffice you from Allah whatsoever. You have requested that I write you about a concern wherein I clarify for you qualities through which you may engage with your contemporaries, fulfill their rights upon you, and ask Allah for that which is yours. You have inquired about a grave matter, and those investigating and abiding by it today are sparse. In fact, I know not an area with anyone abiding by it. How is that tenable today, given that this era has corrupted, truth and falsehood are conflated, and no one is spared from its evil except whoever supplicates by the supplication of a drowning person? So do you know an area where such a person exists? It used to be said, there shall imminently come a time in which no wise one will be delighted with. You must therefore be fearful of Allah, maintain seclusion, work on yourself, and seek the company of Allah's book, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, exalted and glorified be He. And beware of the rulers, and associate with the poor and destitute, and draw near them. If you are able to enjoin good leniently, then do so. If it is accepted from you, praise Allah. If you are, however, rejected, then turn to yourself, for you have much to work on therein. Beware of lofty status and the desire for it, for zuhd, indifference to it, is more difficult than zuhd and indifference to the dunya. It has reached to me that the companions of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to seek refuge in Allah from ever witnessing this era, yet they possessed an abundance of knowledge that we possess not. So how is our condition as this era dawns upon us, with a paucity in knowledge and insight, and a shortage in patience and aids towards good, paired with a corruption in era and the people? Adhere to the first state of affairs and grasp onto it. Be obscure, for this is a time of obscurity. Remain secluded and avoidant of intermingling with people. For Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu used to say, beware of greed, for greed is poverty, and despair is prosperity, and in seclusion is respite from bad company. And Saeed ibn al-Musayyib used to say, seclusion is an act of worship. Previously, when people met each other, they would benefit from each other. Today, however, that has been lost, and deliverance, we believe, is attained by abandoning them. Beware of rulers, drawing near them and joining them in anything. Beware of being deceived by being told you may intercede, thereby rectifying the state of an oppressed person and redressing a misdeed. That is the ploy of the devil, and indeed the crooked reciters utilized it as a means. It used to be said, beware of the fitna, the tribulation of the ignorant worshipper, and that of the depraved scholar. For their fitna truly is a fitna to every susceptible person. Whenever you are spared from answering a question or issuing a fatwa, a ruling, then take advantage of that and do not compete with them. Beware of being among those who like that their opinions be followed and disseminated, and that their counsel be sought. Beware of love of leadership, for leadership is more beloved to some people than gold and silver. It is an elusive matter, only recognizable to the insightful among the seasoned scholars. Beware of riya, for riya is more hidden than the crawling of ants. Hudayfa radiyallahu anhu said, a time shall dawn upon the people in which good and evil will be presented to a man, yet he will not know which one to choose. It has been reported from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he said, Allah's hand shall remain over this ummah, it shall remain within his fold, by his side and under his wing, as long as their scholars do not sway towards their rulers, and as long as their righteous do not treat their wicked kindly, and as long as their virtuous do not honor their depraved. If they were to do otherwise, Allah's hand would be lifted away from them, and He would cast fear into their hearts, afflict them with poverty, and give power to their tyrants over them, thereby inflicting on them terrible persecution. He said, when that occurs, any agitating matter that befalls them will be followed by another that distracts them from it. And let death be of your preoccupation and concern, and lessen your hopefulness. Frequently remember death, for if you frequently remember death, the affairs of your dunya would be diminished in your eyes. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahimahullah said, remember death frequently, for if you remember it during abundance, it diminishes it. It diminishes it, and if you remember it during scarcity, it makes it abundant. And know that now is the time for a man to desire death. May Allah give us and you refuge from the means of ruin, and may He embark us and you upon the path of obedience. End of the letter. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.